Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are talking about a subject that isn't always the easiest. I think a lot of people have a very difficult time with this subject. I'm no exception. It is how to apologize and sort of the whole idea of apologizing for something. Sometimes we do things that involve other people, and we screw up, they screw up, some kind of situation happens. There's all kinds of, sorry, that was bugging me. There are all kinds of things that transpire. Sometimes we don't intend for things to happen. Sometimes we do, and then we regret it. There are many different situations in which you will find yourself needing to apologize. Humans do not like to apologize. We do not like to admit when we were wrong. We like to justify it and say, well, it's because of this, or I was raised like this, or I have this, or XYZ. And a huge amount of the problems in this world today are because people cannot admit that they are wrong and they apologize. They cannot do it. It doesn't work for them. You know, they don't like the look of weakness or the failure or whatever. And sometimes you just have to admit that you made a mistake, you screwed up. I've had to admit this recently, and it really sucks. It makes you feel like you're a horrible person. You have to tell yourself that you're not a horrible person, but you did screw up. You did hurt somebody. Stupid things were said and done, and that's really difficult. That's very difficult and very hard to come to terms with. But I think it can be a very important learning experience. I think it can be something that can make you a better person in the long run, not in the immediate right away, but in the long run, it can lead to some healthy character development, and hopefully you're able to make it up to the person, or at the very least, you can learn from your mistake and not do it again. So that's essentially where we are at this point. It's hard to take the blame 100% for anything, and a lot of people will say, well, it's never 100%, but sometimes you screwed up. You know, sometimes you gotta say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I didn't anticipate this. I didn't see this. There's a large debate in the world about whether you can justify yourself when you're apologizing. Like, you can say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't foresee this. Or if it's just better to say, I'm so sorry, and move on. And I don't really know the answer to that debate. I think it can be important to provide context of why you're sorry, the reasons that you are sorry, how it came to pass that a mistake was made. Other people just want the apology. There's this common thing about, oh, I'm sorry, but, and if you say, I'm sorry, but, you're not really sorry. So you really just need to come from a point of, I'm sorry, I screwed up, this was really bad, I didn't actually anticipate this to happen, or I didn't think it would come to this, or I didn't think you'd find out, or anything like, and some of those excuses are valid and some of them are cop-outs, and some of them will only make people more angry. And that's fair enough. If you're in the wrong, it's your job just to essentially accept that you're in the wrong. And if the other person decides to accept your apology, awesome. If they don't, they're under no obligation to accept it. You know, they don't need to accept why you did what you did or any of those kinds of things. It's not their job. They like Taylor Swift has this great moment where she says, you don't have to forgive to move on. You don't have to forgive to move on with the universe. I think a Taoist would probably say that you should be able to just move on and, you know, go with the flow and all of that. But none of us are perfect Taoists. None of us are pure Buddhists. We live in this complex black and white world with many shades of gray, and it can be very difficult. When somebody is apologizing to you, I think the best advice I can give is hear them out, ask lots of questions, ask what you're curious about. Say little. It's not your job when someone's apologizing to you. It's really not your job to give them comfort or to do that. Your job is to understand what happened, that they are taking the fault and the blame, and to try and figure out where you want to go from there. Like I said, you don't have to forgive people. You can move on and process and live a healthy world and existence without that person. You don't need it. So it really puts you in a powerful situation, and with great power comes great responsibility. But you get to decide based on what has happened whether forgiveness is something that you're interested in. And it doesn't have to be at all. You know, it is totally valid when someone hurts you to move on. If you want to be graceful, you can just say thank you for your apology and then you move on. That way you have acknowledged it and life can continue. And moving forward, you learn something about yourself and the person and life in general and how people act and interact. And I think that is quite valuable. So yeah, I think that is where we're basically going to leave it. Feel free to leave your comments and questions. This is like a totally private, like personal thing, but yeah, admitting when you're wrong, saying sorry, moving on, growing from it, and hoping that you will never end up in a situation where hurting someone like that is possible. So anyway, guys, the world is still amazing. Progress as best as you can. Strive to be a better person. Treat people with love and compassion. We cannot foresee everything that may happen in the future, but we can live our lives with the compassion and the empathy that other people deserve and respect. And I really appreciate that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, week, month, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's beautiful. And as always, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.